not allocate for the use of drugs or alcohol. I'm only telling these stories for educational purposes. And with that said, enjoy the video.
Hello everybody, what is good? I'm Magic Hobbit, and this is the very first of a little series that I'm going to be doing where I kind of just talk about some crazy things that went on with me and my friends in high school. And I want to give a really big shout out to a man named Goblin, because he is the whole reason I even started or even thought about doing this. He has his own series just like this. He's been doing it for a long time. It's way better than what I'm going to be putting out, so it's going to be in the description. Please go check that out. Give him all the love in the world because he absolutely deserves it. But another thing I'm going to say too really quickly before we get into this crazy story is that I'm never going to be using anybody's real names in these videos, because I'm obviously not trying to rat any of my old friends out or give away any of the wild stuff that they've been doing in high school. So that's just out of the way. No real names are ever going to be used in these. It's all going to be fake. So don't gotta worry about that. Not trying to throw no shade at anybody that I used to hang out with or still hang out with to this day, you know? That's not my style, and it never really has been. And today, folks, we're gonna be talking about the very first time that I did Molly. And I remember the first time I ever heard about Molly. My friends used to throw parties in high school, and everybody would go, and it would be a grand old time. And I remember everybody looked like they were just having a great time this one weekend, and everybody was just having way more fun than usual. I knew something was going on, but I didn't quite know what it was. And I remember a friend coming up to me. We're gonna call him Bobby. And Bobby comes up to me and he's like, "Yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like, everybody's on Molly right now. That's why it seems a little whack over here. Everybody seemed a little bit wildin', like more than usual, you know?" And I was like, "Oh, well, no shit, man." Like, cause I had heard of Molly, but never like seen it around me or seen anybody on it, you know? The only reason I even knew or heard of Molly had been because that Wiz Khalifa song came out maybe like 2-3 months prior, and everybody fucking listened to it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, because you used to bang that shit too. Don't even lie to yourself. Me and Bobby then make plans for me to go and do it with him the next weekend. So the next weekend comes around, I got some money, I got some booze. We all make plans to go meet up at this girl's house to go before, pregame before the party, the party before the party. Go hang out for a little bit, get our Molly, get it in us, get the cab over, and have a blast. That was the game plan. So we're gonna call this girl, we're gonna call her Shelby, just for no fucking reason. That's not even close to her name, so that just works, okay? So we get to Shelby's, and we're all chilling, and we're just talking. Everybody's just super stoked, and I'm rather anxious. I don't really know what to expect or whatever's gonna happen. But everybody just keeps saying, "Oh, it's gonna be a great time. Trust me, man. You're gonna love it. Like, you're gonna peak. It's gonna be a fucking great time. Like, don't stress about it. You don't gotta worry about a fucking thing. I'm telling you." And I'm like, "Okay, man. I'll take your word. I'll take your word." And the only thing that everybody kept stressing to me is they're like, "Dude, if you can, bring some fucking gum." And of course I didn't, but I didn't fucking listen. I didn't know why the fuck of all things that they were gonna tell me to worry about or to bring with me was fucking chewing gum. Like, that was the last thing on my mind, dude. I'm out here thinking, like, what's gonna happen to me? Like, how's this gonna feel? Like, am I gonna fucking trip right the fuck out? Am I gonna see some shit? Like, you know what I mean? I'd never done anything, any kind of powdered substance or anything at that point. Like, at that point in my life, all I really did was drink and smoke weed, you know? So this is my first time trying any, like, I guess, real street drugs, if that's what you want to call them. And I was kind of tripping out a bit, you know? I was anxious as fuck. So the last thing on my mind was worrying about this motherfucking chewing gum that everybody was telling me to fucking get. I'm like, fuck your gum. Like, I'm trying to focus on myself right now, trying to make sure that I don't die up in this bitch, because I was minorly concerned about that, you know? When you're that young and you're just experimenting with drugs and life and everything like that, you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. You're just out here free balling it, or if you're a girl, free badging it, to each his own. So the plug gets there, we all take our stuff, and we call the taxi, right? Because they say it was about a 20-minute, maybe 15-minute ride in the cab, and they were like, all right, by the time we get there, it should start kicking in, you know? And that was the plan. So we all take this stuff and we're waiting on the cab and we're just same things happening. We're all just talking. I'm anxious as fuck. They're like, man, don't worry, like everything's gonna be cool. Cab gets there. I get in the very back of the taxi, right? There's like five of us, I think. Or it's one of those van taxis, like those minivans, the fucking Dodge Caravan fucking taxi. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody's seen one of those fucking things. And I'm in the very back of it with my buddy Bobby, right? And there's a couple girls in the front, like Shelby and Bobby's girlfriend at the time. And we're on our way down. We're on our way to my buddy's house where he was throwing the party. And I guess I guess the kind of drive there was a little bit of a blur. I honestly don't remember anything about the drive to the party. But what I do remember was when the taxi finally pulled up to my buddy's apartment building. And that was super wild to me. Because the very second that we pulled into his apartment building, dude, it was like fucking magic. It was exactly like what my buddy fucking said it would be. It timed it out perfectly. He's like, dude, we're gonna take these, we're gonna get there, and it's gonna kick in. And he was like spot on with that shit. It was insane, man. He was like a fucking wizard. He blew my mind with that. So we pull up to the parking lot and this shit just starts kicking in. And I guess if you've ever done Molly or if you've ever talked to anybody that have done Molly, they'll tell you it kind of hits you in phases, like different waves, kind of. And you just kind of ride them out or wait for the right one to hit you, you know? And I guess the best one that could have ever possibly hit me first was the one that I wanted, and that was the body buzz. So, dude, I'm in the back of this fucking taxi, dog, and I look at my buddy, and I just like all I can feel. The only way I could possibly describe this feeling to you guys is it honestly felt like as if Sully from Monsters Incorporated was giving me a big old bear hug. Like it felt like his fur was just gliding across the top of my skin, like pins and needles almost, but like not unpleasant. Like it was fucking felt crazy good, you know? And I look at my buddy and I'm like, dude, is this supposed to be how like is this how it's supposed to feel? He's like, how do you feel? And I tried to describe it what I was feeling to him, right? Kind of the same way I did to you guys. And he's like, man, you got the body buzz first. You're gonna be in for a great fucking night. Excuse me. At this point, we're all just ready to go. So we get into my buddy's apartment, and dude, all I can even remember from the entire night, like, I don't remember shit ever after walking out of the taxi, man. Like, I honestly don't. It's all very, very vivid, but I do remember just talking to absolutely everybody. Like, you know how you'd see, like, those people in school, like, you'd have those weird friends, not even friends, like, more like acquaintances, you know? Like, people that were friends of your other friends, and you just see them when you, like, your main homies weren't around, and you would just talk to them every once in a while, and just have little chit-chats, you know what I mean? But I was just absolutely talking the fucking ear off of everybody that night, and it was crazy, but it was all mutual, though, because I guess everybody was kind of doing that to each other, if that makes sense. And nobody cares if you're talking too much or too little because we're all just having way too much fun. At the end of the day, everybody was just getting really fucked up. Everybody was smoking. Everybody was drinking. We were all listening to music. You know, like old Wiz Khalifa, listening to Hollywood Undead, listening to all that good shit, you know? All that stuff that you were listening to back in grade, what was it, 9, 10 for me? We were listening to everything from like Cypress Hill to old Eminem. Like some of the music on some of these parties just was all over the fucking map. But did it really matter? No, because we all knew each other, everything fucking slapped. It was just one banger after another, right? It's a fucking rager, who really cares? As long as the music's good and there's bass, everybody's fucking happy, right? I snuck back home around 1 o'clock in the morning, ended up passing out around like 2:30, 3 o'clock, because you know how that shit gets. Woke up the next day with a bit of a headache, but that's to be expected, right? And with all that said and done, I am not advocating for the use of this drug or any drugs for that matter, or alcohol, or doing anything like that underage. I'm simply just explaining my story to you and letting you guys know how all this was for me. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you did. Drop a comment if you got a crazy drug story or any kind of story in general, because I want to read that shit. I want to know what you guys are up to. Sending y'all positive vibes and mad love. And with that said, deuces.